The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed that a person took and sowed in a field. It is the smallest of all the seeds, yet when full grown, it is the largest of plants. It becomes a large bush, and the birds of the sky come and dwell in its branches.
St. Mary's began as a mission church, established by Monsignor Daniel J. Quigley, pastor of St. Patrick's Church. He served the needs of South Carolina Catholics in remote regions, including the Sea Islands and areas towards Savannah. It was a difficult time for a few Catholics living and farming in the area. The church was only accessible by coach or horses for the locals to attend Sunday Mass. Father Quigley established St. Philomena Mission Church on Martin's Point on Wadmalaw Island in 1872. Mass was held on the island in a private home. The accessibility to southern Charleston County changed when the rail service was established from downtown Charleston to Yonges Island, which had become a thriving produce capital in the 1880s. The area was also known for the Barn and Platte Canning Company, an oyster factory on Yonges Island. The cannery processed thousands of bushels of oysters each season and required labor from off to meet demand. Many of the laborers employed to support the burgeoning produce production and oyster factory operations were Polish immigrants hailing from up north. The number of Catholic residents on Yonges Island was growing thanks to these Polish laborers. Once the rail service was established, the growing Catholic community began to push for a church. W.C. Garrity and F.W. Tolles donated an acre and a half of land fronting on the Wadmalaw River to build a first church. St. Philomena Church was moved from Wadmalaw to Yonges Island to serve the growing Catholic population. On May 12, 1895, the newly constructed church, St. Philomena Church, was dedicated on the donated parcel by Bishop Northup, assisted by Monsignor Quigley and Reverend W.G. Murphy, Assistant Rector of St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York.
About 200 persons from Charleston boarded the special train which pulled out from the Charleston and Savannah Railway 8:30 yesterday morning, bound for Yonges Island to take part in the dedication of the new Catholic Church of St. Philomena. The new church is situated near the water, in the midst of fertile fields of potatoes, asparagus, and cabbages, the staple products of Yonges Island. St. Philomena Church was destroyed by the Charleston-Savannah hurricane on August 27, 1911. The local parishioners were once again without a church. Mass attendance was too large for services in the home of Mrs. Garrity, according to Reverend J.D. Messagey, the pastor of St. Philomena.
With donations and support from Bishop Northup, a new church was dedicated further inland of the site of the destroyed St. Philomena. At the request of a donor, the new church was dedicated as a St. Mary's on May 12, 1915.
You will notice the pretty soft stained glass window behind the altar. After the hurricane in 1911, which destroyed St. Philomena, this window was found unbroken. 9 years later, it was installed here in St. Mary's when it was built.
In 1950, Teresa Ray Heyer donated her home next to the church to serve as the first rectory for St. Mary's. Ms. Heyer, a cancer survivor, also built the grotto of the Blessed Mother in a thanks to God for her recovery. Faith-inspired service to community spans decades. Currently, St. Mary's donations and volunteer support for the local Meals on Wheels program provides meals to underserved seniors. And through the Project San Pedro, St. Mary's has adopted 3 children in Guatemala to pay for their education. The Angel Tree Project provides gifts during the Christmas holiday for children of servicemen and women living below the poverty line at Charleston Air Force Base. Once again, as was the mission of St. Philomena. St. Mary's is asking for help from our brothers and sisters in Christ. Parish Center is no longer viable to continue the mission of serving the needs of our growing parish community.
It has served us well, but the challenges of the building are too large to overcome. Not only is the small size of the building preventing us from gathering for worship, it also prevents having the number of CCD classes that we would like to serve our children in our growing community. The building itself has structural issues. The back two corners of the building are beginning to sink, and the foundation will need to be repaired. We've also found to try and expand the capabilities of the building, it needs to be rewired since it is not up to code. That is a real challenge with a cinder block building, and we found that it is cost prohibitive to attempt to bring it back up to code. We've also looked at trying to expand the building to give us some more room, but once again, the foundation and the code requirements will prevent that. This building has served us well, as I mentioned, but it's time to provide something that can support our growing community spiritually and physically as we move forward into the future.
The acts of kindness and giving from our parishioners are too numerous to mention. We humbly ask that you please donate. We are small in resources, but large in heart and spirit. For more information on how to donate, please check out the link below. When visiting the Lowcountry, please come visit St. Mary's Church to celebrate Mass with us. You are always welcome here. Thank you kindly from all of us at St. Mary's Church.